how you feeling?
All right. Rundown is January 11th.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You posted your own picture.
Yeah, I didn't think that was
It's brought to you by. Oh, we're talking ugly. I didn't think.
What, my belly? Listen, my belly's been out there.
Yeah, that was tough.
Was it shocking? Were you really shocked?
Yes.
This is like everyone with the Capitol. Like, this is America. This is Big Cat. This is my belly. Okay. Yeah, but that's my belly.
No,
like when everyone's
So
like,
we
oh
only
my.
have one pregnant person in this office.
Oh, listen, you gotta. I would rather have a fat belly than a moon face.
The rundown is presented by Jack
Right, I
Pocket.
can put on clothes. Frankie has to walk around with that fucking fat moon face. I don't even have another word for it. It's just a face. I was gonna say moon.
The Mega Millions and Powerball
This is Big
jackpots
Cat.
are each now worth over $500 million each. That's where Jack Pocket Lottery app comes in. Jack Pocket lets you play official state lottery games right on your phone. Play Powerball, Mega Millions, Cash for Life. Pick 10 plus other daily games right on your phone. Jackpot is now live in 10 states total, including Jersey, Texas, and available in New York. Safe and easy way to get your lottery tickets. Pick your own lucky numbers, and Jackpocket checks your numbers, notifies you if you've won. If you win, you can instantly withdraw your winnings from your bank account. Download Jackpot for free from the App Store or go to jackpocket.com. Use code Barstool at checkout. Play Mega Millions or Powerball Jackpot for free. Must be, that's great. Must be 18 or older to play. Jack Pocket is not affiliated with any state lottery. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please visit jackpot.com/TOS.
TOS.
For full terms of service.
Terms of service.
Terms of service.
There you go.
Jackpot.com/TOS. That's quite a thing. How's it not affiliated with the lottery? But you can play the lottery. Okay, I love it. Jack Pocket sounds pretty cool if you're into that stuff. So NFL recap: Jeff D. Lowe, big congratulatory. Remember when our guy Dion's like, "Do you think Baker will be the quarterback next year?" I mean, he for a guy who I realize like I like Dion. His stock is in the trash can.
His opinions.
Yeah.
A lot of old heads on like NFL like format really don't like him at all. Like Steve Smith last night, they just won, and he said on NFL Network, he's like, Patrick Mahomes is like Steph Curry and Baker's like Shaq shooting free throws. He doesn't have it. I'm like, what are we talking about?
That makes no sense, but
I guess.
But if you're going to
in the
compare him to
context,
Patrick Mahomes,
But even-
everyone
correct.
loses.
but even that,
But
within the
he's-
first 20 minutes of them winning, that's the front.
Baker has played spectacular football
Yeah.
for the last like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, and the narrative on Baker is that he's not in that class. So like
Right.
you can't then.
No, we were going from like Baker being like the beginning of the season, maybe not the quarterback, to now like upper echelon quarterback.
They
Playing great.
They ran Willie out of here.
Let's go! Come on! Oh my God. Holy fuck.
Where you going, Willie?
Another one?
First
I
quarter.
saw that, which is in an NFL game to be run out like. I thought
He was
they
mad.
were going to come back.
If they hadn't punted,
What is up with the punts?
insane.
Vrabel, who we love, that was an insane punt.
Insane.
That punt yesterday, like, what are you doing?
Surrender punting.
I was. People keep asking me like, what was the moment last night? It was when you started to care about the game again. That's my anxiety kicked in. When
Yeah.
you walked back into the gambling cave,
I started poking
things
him a
changed.
little.
There,
I was like, listen, all he needs is a field goal with Cody Parkey.
You're now playing with house money, right?
absolutely.
Go to Kansas
I
City.
mean, I have no expectation. I mean, I didn't have any last night, but I will say the second they scored, I wasn't nervous. When they scored right in the first 5 seconds, like, oh, okay, they can. Now I'm nervous. They can win this game, actually.
So I'm going to use an analogy that's a little off, but the first Patriots Super Bowl, and you got to remember, Patriots weren't good before they became good, and I forget who they beat somebody, and then they went into Pittsburgh, who was very good, and won a road game that they weren't supposed to win. This is Brady win his first year. You play with house money, but it could get real. Like I could see the Browns giving them a game.
I agree.
There's the issue is like their strengths, like the Chiefs aren't a great run. Like the Browns run the ball well. Their strengths like match up well, but the Chiefs' strengths match up not just well, they match up like
It's gonna have
even
to, you have
better.
to
Yeah.
score 100.
But,
Yeah,
but also
that's-
the Chiefs have done a thing this year where they've kind of like flirted with where they haven't put teams away. You know, like
Yeah.
that Bucks game when they went up by 1 million, and they
Yeah.
only went up winning
Yep.
by 3. They obviously lost the Raiders. Remember that Chargers game in
Yep.
like week
Yep.
4,
Yep.
overtime. They've had a few games
They
where
didn't
it's like,
look-
what's
the-
going
the-
on
the
here?
Patriots, they didn't look great
The
against.
Falcons
Yeah.
game in week 16 when they're playing for a bye and they, win at the end. Like
They'll
they've
get a
done
lot of their
thing.
guys back. They'll get their. I mean,
I've been saying the Chiefs are in that dangerous territory where they're clearly the best team. I expect them to win the Super Bowl, but it does feel like they know they can toy with teams for 3 quarters, but it might get too late at some point. You're like, wait, what's going on
And
here?
the Browns are also, I feel like, not getting the respect that they deserve for the season because they're the Browns.
Right.
Like, even being 6-point favorites of a team that's played far better than Pittsburgh did down the stretch. I don't know. Crazier things would happen. I could see that.
it is house money though. It's like
Yeah,
it
it's
is-
definitely. But my point is house money. If you guys just lose by like 2 touchdowns, not close, like, okay. It changes if suddenly it's like you guys are in this game. That's like, oh, all right. We're like,
if it's mildly close in second quarter, the tone will change for me. I mean, he's seen me all year. My tone will
Yeah.
change very
Who would-
quickly.
If the Ravens and Browns won, who would host the AFC
It'd be
Championship?
Baltimore.
They would host the AFC Championship. So you're already looking
The
at
Browns.
which it would also be,
I was so sharp last night, and you just fucking.
which would also be, if that ever happened, an unbelievable game with the whole Art Modell history. And
Yeah.
speaking of, we got Lamar versus Josh, which is. And by the way,
Saturday night.
Josh Allen, he's fucking awesome. He won the Bills.
They
the
didn't
Bills-
play their best game.
No, they played one of their worst games
Yeah.
in my mind. They were
Yeah.
lucky to escape that. And the Ravens, I mean,
Their
listen,
defense is back.
They
though.
played it, and you just can't. Lamar looked back to like a lot faster than everybody. He hasn't looked that fast to me lately, but he's still running back.
He had some nice throws to Hollywood Brown. The biggest takeaway from that game to me was the Ravens' defense is like all the way back.
Yeah, they played
They
really
shut. I
fucking
mean, they gave up 10 points in the first quarter. The Titans scored 3 more points the entire game. Derrick Henry had 40 yards.
Yeah.
So I think that's what would
But-
make the Ravens scary.
Yes, but the Bills are. I mean, the Titans, if you can stop them running up the middle, they're pretty. Like the Bills are far more. They can throw.
Yeah,
the ball.
dynamic. Yeah.
So.
Though you said it with you had the man in the suit thing though about the Bills.
Yes.
The Bills.
Well, I counted. I was literally getting ready for that game, and I was looking ahead, and I counted the Bills as a win.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the Bills are going to kill them. They're playing so good. And I started looking, and everyone was taking the Bills. I'm like, what am I
Yeah.
doing? I'm doing the opposite of man in the suit. I switched it, and I was super confident. I was 5-1 against the spread this weekend. The only loss was the Titans. And by the way, I like Philly Rivers.
Oh, that Hail Mary.
which they've
And
had.
that
5 yards short was so
Never mind the
sad.
Hail Mary, the drive. They went 40 yards. Like the reason they didn't continue down the field is because they ran out of time and they had to throw like sideline. They couldn't use the middle of the field. What were they doing?
Yeah.
That was
It
like
was
Donovan
brutal.
McNabb throw-up game.
And hasn't
Yeah.
Brissett gone in for the Hail Mary all
Yeah.
year too?
Yeah.
But then somebody, it might have been Chase. It was like maybe it was his last throw ever, so they wanted to.
It was sad. I don't want to see Phil. Phil Rivers is one of those guys. It's just fun to have him in the league. He's just a fun guy. He even said it after. He's like, that was a really neat team. He said neat. He said the word neat.
What are thoughts on your Bears? I thought Eddie, I saw his post game. I thought he kind of.
Breaking news. Eagles fired Doug Peterson.
Whoa! Didn't see that coming.
Smitty, who just acts like he never ran Foles out of town. I love Smitty on social media, who's like, how do we take this guy over this guy? How do we do this over that? Meanwhile, he's been no bigger Carson Wentz supporter. And this guy, I told you all about this guy. You still want him?
You talking about Wentz?
Yes.
Still, the Eagles fired Doug Peterson. There's more important problems.
Nobody
than
cares.
Wait, so
about
Wentz
that.
is
Carson
back?
Wentz.
Is that?
Yeah, is that-
No,
is that-
Wentz is back.
Howie Roseman's back being the GM of the 4th coaching regime in 9 years.
Wait,
That's
no,
what's
but
But
happening.
that
Wentz
is
is
because
back.
they chose the quarterback.
Wentz
Does
is
that mean
back. They
Wentz
chose
over-
They chose Wentz.
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't
No,
know. They have the
that's
sixth.
very
They have the
clear.
6th pick in the draft.
Do you
They might
want
take
Wentz?
a QB. They might take a QB. I don't know.
Do
Wow.
you want Wentz?
I don't know what I want.
That's
Do
a
you
no.
want Wentz?
That's a no.
Like this team, they have a lot more problems than Carson
That's a
Wentz.
no.
I would rather trade Wentz for like a bunch of draft picks if that's possible. Nobody could take him.
Just
Peterson's going to win a Super Bowl in Jacksonville.
What happened?
Calling it right now.
Do you think if he keeps Jalen Hurts in the game, Week 17, he still has his job?
No.
What happened with Wentz as an evaluator of talent? Like I know you were big
Evaluator?
on. Yeah, evaluator of talent. What What did you miss on him?
What did we miss on?
What
Go
did
back
you
through
miss?
your own
Yeah.
scouting
Yes.
process.
As I
Self-scout.
said always before, Nick Foles, as confirmed this year, is the greatest backup quarterback of all time.
But I'm asking about Wentz.
Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate in 2017. He came back. He led the team to playoffs. Well, before he got hurt, he was the number
No,
one.
he
was the
good
number
that
one
year.
MVP.
He was good that
What
year.
what does it say? in the
Last
guy's
year, he was playing with
personality?
JV guys and threw for 4,000 yards, led the team to the playoffs. Got assaulted on national TV by Jadeveon Clowney. That's why he was out of the game in the playoffs. I mean, the guy didn't have it this year. What do you want from me?
You just said you trade him for draft picks.
I would. At this point, I would. Because the team is in a lot more trouble than just Carson Wentz right now.
What did you think of his comments where he's like, you better trade me if you're not going to play me? Do you think that was a window into his character as a human?
I don't know what's legitimate or factual coming out of that team. I don't know. From top to bottom.
You chose Wentz. Wentz is your quarterback.
Yeah, I personally ran Carson Wentz out of town.
No,
Let me
no.
ask you this.
You
Riddle me
chose
this. Riddle me this, Mr. Portnoy.
Yeah.
What would you do if Carson Wentz was a New England Patriot next year?
I'd like that. I think we could make it work.
Okay.
I would like that spot for him.
Yeah, I think we can make that work.
Okay.
The Bears. I thought Eddie's post game he nailed it. When he said it's like the third day of your buddy's bachelor party where you don't want to drink anymore, but like you got to drink because you're there. Like
It's the third day of a bachelor party every time. You don't want to drink, but you know you have to because you love your buddy. The Bears are my buddy. I love them, but they fucking suck.
that's
It was. Everyone saw me here.
it was-
At halftime, I went and sat in the corner. Didn't even have my phone or computer. I just sat because I was so exhausted from watching such a shit team. Like they physically drain you. So Eddie's right. Like it's exhausting to watch the team play football. They are an exhausting team.
Go! Watching on Nick. Shut the fuck up!
It got the
Mitch won the MVP. Let's
the
at least throw
Nickelodeon
that
thing
out
made
there.
the ending pretty fun.
did
Yes,
the
that
Nickelodeon.
made-
Listen, I went out to dinner. I was watching football all the time. I went out to dinner with, so I thought they went for 2 and didn't get it. And I had the Saints. Because it said 3 seconds on.
Yeah, no, it was the end of the game, and I guess they changed the rule recently.
Yeah, they
I think
did.
we had this debate a couple years ago.
No, they did. There was specifically a game. There was specifically a
No.
game where they made everyone come back on. It
Yeah.
didn't matter, and that
they
changed the rule.
it. Yeah, no, you can't. If it doesn't matter to the outcome, they won't make you do it. But yeah, the Bears are a dumpster fire. They suck. It's physically taxing to watch this team play football. Their offense is brutal. I don't know. I hate everything. And then it was like watching a Nickelodeon like for the first half.
Well, Billy was gonna.
They were making me watch, like,
Yeah.
Dave, I'm obviously superstitious, gambler, everything. Like, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And then things started going well for the
So they were
Bears.
stuck.
So
And then like the moment that I said if I had a grenade, I would have pulled the pin and just blown us all up. Was the Bears got a pick, but it hit the ground barely, and Nate Burleson was like, "You see the nose of the ball? That's like the nose of a dog sniffing a carpet." And I was like, "What the fuck am I doing right now?"
Yeah,
And Frank was singing in my face, and Billy's like a 10-year-old, and I just hate everything.
You lost the game on the drop touchdown.
Without a doubt, if he catches that, it's a totally different
Billy,
game.
but your tone went from like funny to serious when Kamara scored and they like slimed the end zone, and Billy's like, we didn't get to hear what it
He's like,
sounded
why
like.
are we on Nickelodeon? I was like, Billy, it's a fucking playoff game, dude. It was such a joke. It's just perfect.
It does set up Mints versus Che on Sunday, though. And
Yes.
I'm irrationally
Oh
excited.
yeah,
for
that's
that.
good. We got a
Ben-
lot of stuff in the mix. Even just on a bigger, what you'd have to pull off a huge upset, the Browns. But imagine like a Buffalo Cleveland AFC Championship.
Lake Erie, yeah.
Oof.
Mincy, by the way, Drew Brees is the most important person in his life. He told us on Pick Central today that he used to have major, major anger problems, and he
The
read
book.
Drew Brees' book, and everything fixed.
Mitzi, though, let's be honest, we don't know him that well, but he's a house of cards.
Yeah.
Like, he is waiting to hit the bottle and explode at any moment. Like, he's a keep-it-in guy.
He and Brandon both.
Yeah, well, Brand just lets it, but Mitzi's like, one day it's going to be like,
Where did he go?
They're both so like his cheering is so positive and uplifting to watch.
Yeah.
And though PFT did want to kill Che during the Washington Tampa, but like they're both fairly positive. Someone's gonna crack Sunday. I can't see that being positive for 60 minutes. Someone's gonna crack. We're gonna see some weird shit from one of them.
Stephen Che claims that he's been on the TB12 diet for 7 days and he looks like significantly better. He's like, I've lost 3 pounds. I can now take off my shirt. It's like 3 pounds. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Who'd you have in that one?
Which?
Washington. Felix Gray. The second half of the rundown brought to you by Felix Gray Company. I'm wearing them. I wear my Felix Grays all the time to help fight the blue light from devices. I do. No more headaches, blurry vision, trouble sleeping. Felix Gray filters out 90% of blue light. The most damaging range eliminates 99% of the glare through a proprietary industry-leading lens technology available with Felix Gray. Felix Gray frames are hand-finished from durable, super lightweight Italian acetate. Order online, glass shipped directly to you with hard case, lens cloth included. If your screens aren't easier on your eyes, send them back for a full refund. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/rundown for the absolute best quality blue light glasses on the market. That's felixgrayglasses.com/rundown. Shipping returns totally free. felixgrayglasses.com/rundown.
Wait, did you guys, so one last thing, the picture of my belly, you thought that was bad? You think you were shocked? I guess I wasn't shocked because I live with myself.
Shocked, but it was bad. I would have preferred it not be on the internet,
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
National championship tonight. Are you in Ohio? No, you're Penn State.
yeah.
Ohio versus Bama. I've continually bet against Alabama, and I actually now think this is a coin flip. I think Ohio can beat them.
I do too. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. As long as they don't have significant guys out for COVID, which I think we'll find out like shortly. I think that Ohio
I guess some
State-
like Ohio State players were tweeting today, and they said if they're tweeting, that means they're not playing. Like that if they're playing, they're not allowed. Some weird. I don't know.
I'm excited for this
there was
game.
something
Though.
with
It's
that.
going to be an awesome game.
I think if it is close, I favor Ohio State.
It's so weird. So I came back from Miami. There was some. It is so weird. Like you wouldn't know. You would have no idea the national championship's there because of COVID. I mean, they just wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
I do keep forgetting it even is there.
Yeah, like usually,
there'll probably be some
usually
fans,
you
so.
couldn't not notice it. Like the
Right,
hotels
just
will be
Bama
filled
and-
with
yeah.
those fans, especially Ohio. I have this on there. I don't know if it's a huge thing, but that attack by a Vogue on us for like it was one of the most ridiculous attacks. So for those who didn't see, there was an idiot girl who like got in some sort of like accused maybe a black girl of stealing a phone. It was something racist tinged. She did an interview. She was an idiot on TV. She's wearing a daddy hat. Not call her daddies. Not that even fucking matters because like if someone's wearing a Red Sox hat, like what? Like we sell a ton of merch.
Right.
If that's no reflection on anything, but it wasn't even ours. And this Vogue just comes out of the clouds taking cheap shots at us. It just
Total cheap shot. Did you see the clip though? The interview of the girl?
I didn't watch the whole. She was an idiot, right?
Tough.
The Enough was an all-time. You actually should watch it.
I
You
did
pull
see
up
the Enough.
Oh, you saw the Enough.
I saw the Enough. Yeah.
She fucking
Yeah.
did the shush.
Yeah.
That was
Enough.
something else.
It is funny, like looking at that and then looking at your Today Show interview with people who, like the guy you talk to, like clearly is not like the Twitter bubble who hates us and like sports Twitter who's.
I mean, our stock has never been higher because.
But it's
of the
amazing
fun
looking people
thing.
who just like view it like without like the rose-colored
Yeah,
glasses and they're just positive. It just
They're
Then
in
you
a
have the
total
vote.
pretzel because they hate Dave, they hate Barstool, and then they can't find. They want to make it about themselves by being like, well, I don't stand for this, but it's not about anyone but these small businesses.
Right. That's like the San Francisco Chronicle, who has a history of hating us and Eater together. But the San Francisco restaurant, who they were super thankful and nice, they like interviewed them. They're like, "You're really going to accept this money from?" And it's so garbage because they don't give context. But imagine putting somebody in that spot to begin with.
that's just
It's brutal.
Yeah.
brain broken.
This, I don't know if we've talked about. This one's an interest, a little more serious, but obviously everything going on with what happened at the Capitol. And I've gone back and forth, and I have no answer on this one. They're getting rid of Parler. Parler's basically been kicked off because, like, they're viewing it as inciting riots, essentially. And then, so Google, Amazon, Twitter, all kicked them off. And in our world, it's bizarre. And Trump obviously got kicked off. Because, like, if someone didn't like us, I guess they could just be like what we're talking about now, where it's like these people aren't being rational, they just be like, see ya.
But okay, so the Parler one, as far as I'm concerned, like, I understand freedom of speech. I think freedom of speech is very important. But if you're actually like actively organizing a riot or a coup or violence, I think that's totally within the right to be like, you can't do that.
I would agree.
Like, that's not freedom of speech anymore.
I would agree. There's got to be a line. I use it like if Hitler was like, "Hey, we're gonna go kill the Jews," and like put it, it's like you don't want that online. But then what? Like they are letting like on Twitter, they're letting like clear other people.
It's
so
a
like,
slippery
who's
slope.
It's like
Yes.
where is the line?
Total slippery slope. But I do have a hard time understanding someone being like, well, you gotta let freedom of speech. You gotta let these guys be like, hey, everyone meet at noon in Washington D.C. with the AKs and let's fucking take this government back. No, you don't. Like, you don't
can't
have to allow that.
You don't have to allow that. But there is. There's definitely validity to the fact, like, they'll let on the liberal, like, you can be crazy on the liberal side, and they're probably not going to do much to you. But it's like it is political. It's not just as like what you're saying. It doesn't matter if you're creating like a violent thing. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. And then there's a whole other issue, which is like.
But I think the liberal side, like the crazies, but they're not inciting violence. As soon as you incite violence, I think it totally everything changes.
Yeah. There's definitely
no, but crazy thoughts should be allowed.
But there was definitely an element, like during BLM, people being like burn down police station. There was calls for violence during that as well. So that's where everything gets weird. It also a bigger issue to me, not an issue. I don't have the answer, and I think more people should be like, we don't have the answer. Like it's a very complicated issue. Whereas like Twitter, Facebook, Google, like we're private companies.
Yeah, that's the part I don't understand.
Could say it to
I
me,
don't understand
like,
that.
I could say, hey, you're on Barstool, I don't like you, you're off. It's my company. But
is it the public square thing? I think there's an element of like it becomes the public square.
Like the laws aren't caught up to technology. Like freedom of the press, like a newspaper you can't suppress. The facts are that is the media now. So, but they're not. So they're like we're tech, we're private, but like
it's the
not.
public square debate. Like it's now the new public square where someone can walk in the public square and yell anything. And I'm cool with any type of opinion, differing opinions. I'm just where I get lost is when people are like, why can't we fucking organize a coup? Well, no, you can't.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but it's just flipping all over. Like,
yeah, no, it's a definite
Parler's,
slope.
I think, thing would be we don't control what people say on it. Neither does Twitter.
Yeah, but then they become, and then I understand like so Parler, as far as I understand, the Parler still exists. It's like all the services don't host it.
Correct.
And now
it's
is that, but that to me is a question of, are these services doing it because it's a liability? Which I would understand that. If they're like, if a mass shooting gets organized on Parler and we hosted it, are we now culpable?
Correct.
Don't know the answer to that, but that's, I think, a question that people are asking.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's always, for me, it's always the muddiness of these social, and I think we're an example where like people who get shadow banned and stuff, and the stuff that they care about so frequently, like DMCA for some bullshit.
Yeah.
So, like that always seems to be the focus, and then it's only when they get bullied into making these big decisions that they make them about like, the problem that they probably should care about.
It's a dangerous precedent. I don't know what the answer is though. I really don't, because I do think they're stuck in a very tough spot where they can't do absolutely nothing if people are actively trying to plan a coup. But I totally agree with you, Dave, that like once you can't just be like, I'm going to ban this person. Maybe this person's a different judgment call. Maybe this where does that
I look
land?
at it in our world, which I think is legitimate. If you said Laura Wagner is in control of who can just wipe you off the internet,
no, she would wipe us off.
She would wipe us out,
Yes.
and there'd be nothing we could do about it. So it's like it's a slippery slope. It's just a wildly complicated issue. It's a wildly complicated issue, and I do think there's for sure double standards. But I agree with you. Like shouldn't be. You shouldn't be able to incite violence anywhere.
And that's right. That's kind of where I think anyone with differing opinions should be allowed. It's very scary to just start banning people based on solely opinions, because then it just becomes a complete subjective call. And like you said, we could be banned tomorrow just because someone's like, fuck Barstool.
Correct.
But the inciting violence thing is where I'm like, I kind of understand why they have to be like, hey, you can't you can't be like, hey guys, let's round up the guns and get them going.
100%. So we agree with it. It's just how it does it and who's the oversight, because it is changed. Like, that is the media. So, like, the freedom of the press, it has to somehow apply to social media. It doesn't yet. They're like, we're private companies, but that is, the world has changed. That's the media now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
crazy.
no, it is.
And then I had Lindor for, hey, Frank, what do you think of your Mets?
He had some.
Why was Frank on E! News?
He's always a meme.
I'm a meme now. I'm going everywhere. But the Mets, I love the Lindor trade. I love that they got Carlos Carrasco in it. The only thing they gave up that I like is Jimenez. Very good shortstop, young.
Yeah.
But Ahmed Rosario is the dumbest baseball player I've ever seen.
So, are you now? Is there some positivity creeping into your life?
He
here?
went 2-1 yesterday.
He was
Oh,
2-1.
so now you're 11 and 272.
13 and
He hit the
272.
Browns and he hit the who was I already lost to the first
I
game.
hit
was
the Ravens.
the Ravens and the Browns, yeah.
Yep.
Almost backdoored the Bears too.
Almost backdoor the Bears, but the Bears just.
Yeah.
Bears are the Bears. Well, that's good. We got things looking up in Metsville. I got to do a pizza review of Lindor. He did an interview, and he's
Oh,
like,
really?
"That's the most." It's not set up, but they're like, "What are you most looking forward to?" He's like, "The pizza."
Oh,
So,
he's
I'm curious if you've even thought this far, but do you know like the first thing you want to do when you get here?
Man, I love pizza, so probably eat some pizza.
and this is how it works with Cleveland sports. It's like get the positive. You got a little.
will you relax? You got Ohio State in the national championship
I'm not
tonight,
Ohio
and the
State,
Browns.
I know.
But you just said Ohio
Yeah, I
sports.
know. Cleveland. I hope the Mets. I don't want to see Frank disparage either Carrasco or Lindor. No negativity.
I'm
Do you think
excited for like Kevin's heel turn if he becomes basically a Yankee fan in Mets clothes. Like being
Why is-
like,
what?
well, like just he had this tweet that was very funny. It was like, this is what I've always wanted to be, the rich team that steals from the poor
you
team.
can sense a small tide. I know
He's
like Tommy,
starting to like, and people are going
The
to hate
LeMahieu
this
news today was
KFC.
pretty negative. Like he looking at the Dodgers now. He's not like.
Yeah.
There's a you can just the way Kevin's tweeting and like Frank like he's
Yeah,
very
it's
positive.
the
There's a
shit's
weird
moving.
tide.
There's a
turning.
shift in the tectonic plates.
Well, there's just always this half-ass thing that
Yeah.
always just drove me nuts about the Mets. They like stick their toe into the water, and then they don't fully commit to getting contending, and then if they're gonna rebuild and they start like hedging it, and it's like it's never been full commitment. It's never been just full plan. It's just partial plans and then changing plans and doing this and doing that, half-assed. And the half-assedness is what drove me nuts.
Well, hopefully it's gone.
Full
Well,
bore.
I will just to add, you do have to play him in Jenga today.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm curious how
Oh yeah, now I'm playing Frank.
the energy between he hasn't played him yet.
Those are good fries.
I also, do you think there's the Browns are, well, I'm not going to say it. I almost tweeted it, but I was like, you know what, it's not worth it. I got too much going on. That whether it was like LeBron finally getting out of Cleveland is directly affiliated with the Browns
say
becoming
so.
good, because for the first time in two
Well,
decades,
your
the entire
guy-
city is not focused, sucking all the air out, and you can share it.
Your
Who,
guy,
Odell?
your guy was tweeting last night.
Odell?
You could tell he was definitely at home.
He
kind
said
of-
the streets would be like crazy. Yeah. I mean, again, this can't be a good look for him, but whatever.
No. Tommy, are you worried about the Mets?
Yeah, I don't. Rundown.
Yeah, he is. See, I'm telling you. Kevin
But
is
when
going
DJ
to have
LeMahieu
these.
goes, see you.
Kevin is going to have these Yankee fans crying within 6 months. Crying.
Well, just think you. Just think. Just think you'll always have you always have Giancarlo Stanton.